Get my 6. Bringing you another shirtless video, and as you can tell, I don't need dumbbells. Wasn't trying to make a poem there. I just make a rhyme anytime. Wickety wickety whack, and that's hard. That's hard to do. It's tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme right on time. But hey, that's how I roll. And no, I didn't get any hair dye, because I know if I colored, that gray chest hair, you'd say it was the wrong one. So I meant the other one because there's just too many, whatever. So that's where we stand. So I'm out here in the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch woods, which I'm now calling the potentially demonic presence woods as well. And I'm going to explain why that is. So yesterday, I made a video. Surprise, surprise. Everybody said it was fake. Go figure. And we got these vertically challenged individuals who live under bridges who, honest to God, got this comment a couple days ago. Says, I hate this guy so much. I roll out of bed every morning excited to see if he's made another stupid video so I can watch it in its entirety just to see how fake it is. I hate him. Listen, there's nothing fake about what was going on last night. And you didn't see, the scariest part. And you don't know about why. Listen, I ran about 3 miles this morning. And then after my run, I walked about 2 miles through woods and old back roads, as you can see here. I'm pretty run and walked out right now. I'm not going to have to do anything else physical today, but I'm going to stack firewood all day. But you remember, and it's been, I think it was back in January, February, March, April, May, 5 months ago. Made a video one night. Me and my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, we were having movie night like we do just about every night, and she was making our snacks, and I went outside to get some, wait for it, well-seasoned red oak, because we were burning something like not very well-seasoned red oak, and it just wasn't putting out a lot of heat. And so I was like, I'm gonna go out and get some well-seasoned red oak from the firewood pile that's about 100 yards away from the house. So, oh, did you see that? No, what you doing walking around in those woods with those guns, Crazy Lake? It ain't hunting season. I had the feeling something was following me all the way up, and I'm kind of getting the feeling something's following me all the way back now. All right, so let me continue. Went out to get the wood, ran back in the house to get the camera because there was something out there, and I shined a flashlight and we saw eyes. Went after it. We could hear it walking on the ice. Do you remember that video? And then it looked like there was like 3 of whatever was out there. We saw the eyes shine and they were flanking me. It's like they lured me away from the house, come around the side to flank me. And I ran, I went running. I mean, I ran back in the house. What would you do? Everybody's like, why don't you walk up there and punch it in the face? Tried that a couple months ago and ended up in a hospital. You remember that? All right. Man, you don't just run up to this stuff and punch it in the face, especially if you have no clue what in the world it is. So anyway, swallowing that. Which one, brah? There's footsteps. Give you this angle for a bit. All right, so go back in the house, and then the next day, you remember this dog showed up. Wonderful dog, cute dog, and then its owner came by and picked her up. And if you'll remember, I made a video the next day. I think that video was called This Time Our Neighbor Saw It Too. And I talked about how that guy told me, you know, the dog, which, you know, never gets away, never runs away, never leaves the property, wanted out earlier than usual. Like, it was barking at the door to go out, and it was like an hour or so earlier than it usually goes out in the mornings to use the restroom. And when it went out, I keep saying it's a female dog, a girl, a sweet girl. She just took off running, sprinting in a direction she never goes. And the guy had a light right there by the back door, flashlight, something that I've learned to do since all this stuff happened. There's a spider, look. See it? Itsy bitsy spider, blah, 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 blah. Man, I hope. All right, whatever. Sit here. I feel like I'm being followed. Crow calls, giving a warning either to me or him, her, it, or they. So the guy grabs a flashlight, shines it in the direction the dog went, and saw 3 sets of eyes. You remember that? And the dog just took off running, like, for the other end of the county. Well, actually, a couple miles away, my place. And the guy came by to get the dog the next day. Me and Daniel were keeping the dog, and we flagged him down because we saw a truck going by, and we thought he's probably looking for his dog. And then he told me the story I just told you about why the dog took off. Didn't know what it was. And I said, well, do you think it was deer? Because, of course, that's what all the vertically challenged individuals who live under bridges say in the comments here. Oh, that's just a deer. And the guy says, well, I've never seen a deer whose eyes are like 8 feet above the ground. And he even mentioned about how, he had bird feeders that they hung out there, and they hung them up high enough to where the deer couldn't get them. And that's about where the eyes were. So you remember that happening, right? And then so yesterday, it seemed like there was some sort of force keeping me from proceeding in the direction in which I wanted to proceed. And that's not the first time this happened. Somebody pointed out about the video I made a couple of years ago about, mysterious force from the forest jerks the axe out of guy's hand, throws wood or whatever. And then there was one, I don't know if you remember this or not. I'd left my son's four-wheeler up at the campground, and I was trying to go up the next day and get it. And it's like I couldn't get past a certain point, and the engine of that four-wheeler actually started and revved up for about 10 seconds and stopped. I think that video is called Everybody Says His Videos Are Fake Until Something Like This Happens. I'm going to do my best to find that video and put it on the end of this one in case you didn't see it. You watch that. You keep your ears open because it looks like I'm goofing off. Looks like I'm just being some kind of performance artist or something like that, which I'm not. I'm a writer, I will have you know. Currently writing a book that is going to lay out the roadmap on how to end world poverty. It's not going to end world poverty because people are going to have to take action, but it's going to lay out the roadmap in regard to what actions, because it's more than one, need to be taken to end world poverty. You're like, what? I know. I mean, I don't want to get sidetracked too much on this book thing here, but if you had any clue how many people have already said it's the best book they've ever read in their lives, and they haven't even read it yet because I'm not even finished writing it. I mean, let me catch my breath. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Anyway, so last night, and this was not in the video I made yesterday evening. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I get up because I have to, pay the water bill. I got to go use the restroom. Got to take a leak. Not trying to be inappropriate. I'm just telling you what happened. So I'm like, half awake, half asleep, staggering out of the master bedroom, going to the restroom. And I could not get through the entranceway where, like, the living room goes into the kitchen, which on the other side is the downstairs bathroom, because our master bedroom is downstairs. It's like that force was back. Couldn't get through there. So I go out, go back through the living room. There's another door that goes into the dining room. And Can't get through there either. It's like something didn't want me in that entire back portion of the house. So I just went out the front door and took a leak off the front porch, man. I didn't care. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Forgot to water everything growing out there last couple of days anyway. So go back to bed and didn't think much of it. Get up this morning, do my morning prayers and meditations things, have my coffee while I'm doing all that. Go out and run a few miles, come back, sitting on the front porch, and guess what comes running right up to me from the side yard? No, you silly, it wasn't a Bigfoot Sasquatch. It was that dog. The dog that came by 5 months ago on that night. I was out there with the flashlight and we saw the eye shine. And then a neighbor a couple of miles away had something similar happen like 4 or 5 hours later. And the dog seemed to either chase these things or track these things back to my place, whatever these things were. So here comes that dog again. I'm like, wow, hey, doggy. And maybe she remembered me, maybe she didn't, or maybe she's just a super friendly dog. She comes over and, I'm petting her. And, I called because I know the number now. I know the people. And I called. And actually, when I was out on my... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, when I was out on my run this morning, I saw this guy out cutting hay in one of the places, out his way. So I called and left a message, and I thought, if he's out there on the tractor, he might not get that message for hours, because everybody knows, you got to cut hay while the sun's up, brah. Just because you don't work doesn't mean other people don't, but that's how it goes when you work. Got to cut hay when the sun's up. So I just thought, well, let's go for a walk. It's a beautiful day. I got a few things I need to do today, but they can wait. Like working on that book, man. Oh my God. Hey, listen. From memory, from rote memory, I'm going to not necessarily read you a portion of it, but I will recite just part of it. Tell me if this doesn't give you goosebumps, okay? Ready? Get that gnat out of the way. The next day, as he came walking up the driveway, package in hand, and he reached for a mulberry, he was shocked to find I know, right? Now you're saying it too. OMG, Crazy Lake. That's like the best book I've ever read in my life, even though I haven't read it because you're not even finished writing it yet. Think I'm lying to you, don't you? Well, that's just one of the things I got to do. I got to go in there and I'm going to finish that sentence. So when you do read the book sometime in the future, you're going to be able to look back and say, wow, I remember when he recited this part of the book. I saw that video. I mean, you might say, it switched from, as he bent over to pluck a blueberry, or maybe it'll, become something like as he gingerly reached through the briar patch to pick a black raspberry, he was shocked to find, it might change a little bit, from a mulberry to a blueberry or a, blackberry or a blue. I don't know. I might bend over to dig up a carrot. But you get the general, feeling. You could feel that it was real, right? Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, my dog, came running over to your place again. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. She's a sweetie. I don't mind. I saw you out here cutting hay, earlier when I was running. So I didn't, it might be a while before you got the message on the phone. So he goes, yeah, it's the dangest thing. The dangest thing. It's like, what's the dangest thing? He said, she went out at her normal time this morning. And she took off running again, though, and the sun was almost up. She goes out around 5. And he said he actually went after her. Didn't need the light because it was almost light enough to kind of see. He gets to the edge of the woods. He's running pretty quick, and he just runs. It felt like he ran into a tree and fell down. And he sat up. He didn't get hurt. And he said there was no tree there. And the dog had managed to get out of sight of him far enough away to where he couldn't see her, but he could still hear her barking. So he takes off at a quick pace. He wasn't running, but he was walking quickly. He could see where the trees were, and he was going between the trees in the direction of where the dog was barking, and all of a sudden, he hit smack dab, felt like he hit smack dab up against a tree. Didn't knock him down because he wasn't running, but there was no tree there. There was nothing there, but something stopped him. I was like, wow, man, that sounds crazy. He's like, I know. He says he got scared a little bit, decided he'd go back into the house and come out later after it was full light light enough to see. He thought maybe, he was running into limbs he wasn't seeing, and maybe as he hit him, they were, swinging out of the way or something. But he said he came out around 6:30 or 7, definitely light enough to see, walked in the exact same place where he had run and then fast walked into and got knocked down once and then completely stopped. Said he had no problems whatsoever, got right through there, looked for the dog for a while and figured, well, she'll turn up, and or maybe he was kind of thinking she might come back to my place, which she did. And I didn't enlighten him on the experiences I had yesterday evening or last night around 3 a.m. when I had to go potty. But it just makes you think, and why is it that this dog can see whatever it is or can sense it? And this thing is obviously, whatever this force is, this presence, it's on this whole mountainside. It's not just my place. It's like, so I don't know, the thick is plotting, and I just thought I'd share that with you. That's your story for today, and you got like a partial sentence and a half or so of like a really, it's going to put man on Mars. It's going to put man on Mars and lay out the roadmap to end world poverty. I mean, that's just, so anyway, I got to keep on hiking, got to get back to my place. I just wanted to tell you that crazy story. It happened again, in essence, and it's too ironic to be irony. See you for more next time. From here to PBS S, the potential Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and perhaps potentially some sort of demonic force show.